Today, we're going to talk about something that feels really personal for, well, millions of people across India. It's that big conversation, right? The dream, or maybe the really tough decision of moving abroad. It's a choice being debated in living rooms, on WhatsApp groups, everywhere. So we're going to try and unpack this whole thing, not with stories, but by looking at the hard data.
I mean, think about it. You probably know someone, a friend, a cousin, maybe a colleague from work who's either already left, is packing their bags, or is at least dreaming about it. This isn't just some random trend. It feels like a huge national phenomenon. So let's ask the big question, why? What are the numbers really telling us about this exodus?
Okay, look at this number. It tells such a powerful story all on its own. According to the World Development Indicators, we're looking at a net migration of nearly 500,000 people leaving India. That means almost 500,000 more people are expected to pack up and go than to arrive. So this feeling we all have isn't just in our heads, it's a demographic reality. The real question is, what's driving it?
Well, no surprise here. A huge piece of the puzzle is economics. For a lot of people, the whole journey starts with a simple calculation. Can I build a better financial future somewhere else? So let's follow the money trail and look at the economic landscape that people are seeing when they make these massive life decisions.
All right, let's break down these three key numbers. First, you've got the GDP per capita, the average income, at just under $2,700 US. Then you layer on a pretty competitive job market with a 4.2% unemployment rate. And on top of all that, you've got 5% inflation, meaning everything is getting more expensive. You put those three things together and it paints a clear picture of real, everyday financial pressure.
And this quote it nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that economic push. Because, it's one thing to have a job. It's a totally different thing to be able to build a life with what you earn, to save up, to feel secure. That search for better purchasing power, for what your money can actually do for you, that is a powerful, powerful motivator.
But of course, it's never just about the money. The decision to uproot your entire life is about so much more. It's about this broader idea of quality of life. And this is where the story gets even more complex.
So here we see this really interesting mix of incredible progress and, well, persistent challenges. Life expectancy is a solid 72 years, and look at this. Access to electricity is nearly universal at 99.5%. That's a huge, monumental achievement. But then you look at something like access to safely managed sanitation, and it's down at 63%. It just shows how development hasn't been spread out equally across all parts of life.
In this slide just puts that contrast in stark relief. It really is a tale of two Indias, isn't it? On one side, you've got this world-class infrastructure that's powering a booming digital economy. But on the other side, some of the most basic amenities are still a work in progress for millions. This unevenness is a huge part of the story, creating totally different realities for people living in the very same country.
Okay, but hold on. It would be a huge mistake to only focus on the challenges. Because for every single reason someone might want to leave, there's an incredibly powerful argument to stay. India isn't just muddling through. It is one of the most dynamic and fastest growing nations on the entire planet.
6.5%. Let that sink in. India's economy is growing faster than pretty much any other major economy out there. Now, that's not just some abstract number on a chart. That translates into new industries, new jobs, new investments, opportunities that literally did not exist 10 years ago. This is the pull factor, the reason to bet on home.
And here's another monster number to go with it. 70% of the population is now using the internet. Think about that. This isn't just about scrolling through Instagram. It's a revolution. It's access to information, to education, to a massive digital marketplace. This right here is the foundation for future innovation and growth. This chart for me just captures the modern Indian paradox perfectly. The country has an amazing statistical performance score, over 73. That means it has world-class systems for collecting and analyzing data on itself. It's incredibly self-aware. And yet, you look at the bar next to it. The number of women in parliament is still only 14%. It shows a nation that's so technically advanced, but is still wrestling with some really deep, fundamental social challenges.
So that's the dilemma, right? We've seen both sides of the coin. You have the push of today's economic pressures and those quality of life gaps, and you have the pull of tomorrow's absolutely incredible growth and potential. It's a tension that millions of young Indians are feeling every single day.
And there's a term for this whole phenomenon, brain drain. It's what happens when a country's best brightest, and most educated people decide to take their skills and talents somewhere else. And as all this data shows, it's a very, very real thing that India is grappling with right now.
In the end, the data can't give you a simple yes or no. It can't make the decision for you. All they can do is frame the question. It paints this incredibly vivid picture of a nation at a crossroads, a nation just brimming with promise, but also facing some serious hurdles. So the answer to that question, well, it really depends on what you're looking for, what you're willing to bet on, and which India you see more clearly, the one that is today or the one that's on its way to becoming.